I was trying to get this guitar. I was trying to get the. I can see you can see a little bit of the guitar on this other platform. I don't get a copyright strike playing that one, but actually, I played that one before and I didn't get a strike. I never know what songs are going to get a strike and which one. It's just like YouTube is a little bit unpredictable. That's an understatement. But yeah, so I don't really know when they're going to. I also don't know when they're going to take my channel down, but let's hope that doesn't. That is it's a thing of the past that we will never have to deal with again. Right? It's only 5 times. Now I'm done with that. I think I can go without my ears today. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Warrior for Freedom. What's going on? John F. Okay, let's see. I think my phone does a better job of I don't know. No, I think this camera's good. What I really want you guys to see is in that direction. Those lights are really cool. They're all different colors, but you can't really see it yet. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it in a little while. Let me just check that out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way back, way in the way there, right there. Those colors are kind of cool, right? I like that. The camera looks great. It looks great. Yeah, yeah. I think it's better. It's actually better than my phone. It's pretty amazing that I've gotten this far. I mean, I am not. I'm like I don't think of myself as a technical person, but somehow God just helps me out, and I just take it one step at a time, and that seems to be the way to go with these things. And once you do it once or twice, you do a certain thing, a certain system once or twice, then it gets a little bit easier. This this stand. Okay, so you can hear me okay. Ohio, nice. Elil, Eli, Eli. Okay, Dina Croson. Was magst du? Tanya, Elizabeth. Yeah, Richard, Ohio. Elil, Ohio. Is that the name of the town? Or is that me? Hello, evening, Ellie, Ohio here. Elizabeth, hello. Yellow lights. Are the lights a little yellow? Oh, the yellow lights in the back. That's from the school, and I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of those because those lights are. You don't. They're kind of like suspended in space. They're not. Oh, there's now you can see the real lights. Okay, now you can see everything, right? You see behind me. Now you can really see these colored lights right here. Ah, look at that. Look at that, how the camera picks me up. Let's see if I can. No, it's a very intelligent camera, and it's a little bit sensitive, kind of like me, I guess, maybe, or kind of like all of us, right? I want to tell you, I ventured out into the real world again today. I've been coming, like, it seems like Hashem, that the creator wants me out in the world a little bit, even though I like very much hiding in my place, in my space. I really like it up here in that crow's nest. I can just kind of look down on the world and do my stuff, chill, like cook a little bit, make my bed, wash my dishes, no one bothers me. Go and look at once in a while, go down to the beach and collect sea glass, and but apparently God doesn't want me to do that because it just seems like every time I turn around, I'm going off on another trip. Anyway, I went today to see my boy. We had a nice lunch together and it was really charming. And I just I cannot believe. Hey Haley, how are you? Gosh, I miss you. Yeah, I know I'm not in Crown Heights. I know I'm not in Kansas anymore. Right? Um, so But I went to see my boy, and I was telling him, I said, Mendel, you're normal. How could you be normal coming from me? I mean, and your mother. I mean, it's just like he's so like stable. He's like he thinks about things. He talks about things in such a mature way. I'm like, what happened? So I think there's an idea. I mean, my idea was that no matter what, I'm staying with Mendel until he's full grown. No matter what happens in my relationship, I'm not leaving. And I think that's a good way to go. I think it's a good way. If you have a kid with somebody, you got to make it work until they leave the house. And he left the house, but I cannot even believe it. I'm like, are you sure you're my son, man? Maybe there was a mix up in the hospital. I mean, I shouldn't even joke about these things because now we know how gruesome they really are out there. But he's like so like he's low keyed, He was able to find my subway home. I am like, they used to call me wrong way. I like to go in the woods, but and I can lead. I like to lead, but I'm notorious for insisting on going the wrong way. Like I know this is the way to go. It's like Ellie, give it up. So yeah, so they don't call me wrong way for nothing. Anyway, we had when we used to go canoeing, we had a guy named David David, and David was a legal person. He was a lawyer, and he was there was like David. Could you look at the map, please? Mendel's lucky you're sticking by him. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, he's the love of my life. I mean, he's the most important thing in my life. That for sure. There's nothing else. I mean, yeah, I know it's really it's such a blessing, but it's like I'm like I'm just I'm just really I'm just so grateful to God for he's just so I mean I can't even believe he's reasonable. He gets a lot of that really from his mother, really. I mean she's a very like reasonable person. I'm a flake, man. I mean, watch what's about to happen April 1st. Yeah, I think I think things could happen. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, the world is really falling apart right now. Hey Joe, hey Jean Hughes. Um, yeah, it could happen on April 1st. I mean, the world is really like the type of things, the type of like say protests that are occurring right now. You're talking about millions of people on the street. This is unheard of in France, in Israel, in there are other countries where this is going down. Uh, it really is. I'm going into Passover in a daze because of it. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's beyond understanding. Although, I mean, we've been led in this direction for many months. We've been heading in this direction. Hey, Raven, why do you ramble so much? Just the way I am, man. Some people like it, some people don't. I mean, if you don't like it, plenty of other channels, man. They'll go straight to the intel. You don't have to worry. I won't take it personal. It's okay. You can find other channels. I'm sure. It's just the way I am. It's like I mean, I have to apologize all the time for being me? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Nothing's happening April 1st. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I just, I think we've learned by now not to get excited about dates because I mean, if anything, I would say right now something is happening. We have trolls, yeah. We have troll issues. Completely different live stream, yeah. Um, how is it different? Ramble on. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I shouldn't apologize. I mean, really, I mean, there are plenty of Intel channels they can go and you can talk about April 1st and is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I'm sure it's going to happen, but I'm sure it's not going to happen. Dates can burn you, right? We have learned. I mean, we have grown as a community. I mean, not the whole Patriot community, not just us, but the whole Patriot community has really grown to see that we can't hang on details. We'll look at the big picture, and I think that's really the success of this enterprise, is that we look at the big picture. Now, I was talking to Gila before, and she and I agree that it's not easy to make sense of what's going on in Israel. It's your channel. I can do as I like, right? Yeah, but if I do as I like and I lose and everybody runs away, that's also no good. Um, is not trolling, and it's not this video. It's not this video view with a fighting apparatus window reflecting background. This is too weird. Yeah, and it's not trolling you. This is not the video. It's a video view with lighting apparatus and the window reflecting background that is too weird. I don't know what you're saying, Liam X Mail, but whatever you want, man. Whatever you're saying, I don't quite understand, but a lot of things I don't understand. I won't. I left my heart in Gadi. In Gedi. Yeah, I'm sure, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I learned a lot. Thanks, Tanya. And I've learned a lot from you too also. Erwin, too much intel is straight misinformation. Right. In my opinion, I agree with you. Erwin, I missed you. I've been, I haven't, what's the expression? How do you when you jig, I forget if it's jigging a catfish, or there's an expression for like putting your hand into a catfish's mouth and yanking it out. David was hiding the mouse of Gedi. Huh, interesting. Playing Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, I was playing. That's because on Instagram I got on a little bit earlier than on Restream. I was a little ahead of things. Noodling, right? Noodling, noodling, noodling. It's called noodling, not noodling. Noodling. Too busy to chat, just listening. Okay, Erwin, that's good, man. Yeah, I just there's certain people that I just like. I'm so happy to hear that they're still here. We don't a lot. We have a lot of peeps from the old days, but some people do kind of come and go, and that's okay. It's an evolving. We change, but as far as dates go, a little better. Okay, so I just have to plug into my. Let me see if I need to plug in here. I don't, but I need to plug in my phone right away. Okay, save the day. Get on my high chair over here. So, do you think Israel will make peace with Iran? Thank you for your time. Um, I'll drop it out, but it is weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Liam Xmail. What do I think is going on? Um, okay, so let's try to put the pieces together here. My friend Stumpy went noodling for great white sharks once, right? Stumpy, yeah, I get it, Gary. Okay. Um, yeah, thank you, Cheryl. So you want to go to the intel? I mean, there's a lot of intel about. You checked it, Elizabeth. You checked it. So there's a lot of intel. Okay, let's just try to put some of the basic pieces together with what could be going on with Israel. Now, I confess that I haven't really been studying Israeli politics for about since I got into the number 17. I stopped really being interested in Israeli politics because I think the information coming from 17 was a lot more compelling. And now I would say that a lot of the directional sense that most Israelis have about what's really happening in the world is Meshuggah. Not that they're Meshuggah, but that the the dudes, the dudes have been putting out information about Israel for years that's just off the wall. And I used to, there's a channel called Debka File. And I think Debka File is run by intelligence, probably by the Israeli intelligence services. So it is a probably, according to the Patriots, it's deliberate misinformation. Now, okay, so now we have to try to realign in terms of, right. Okay, so there is a contention. Now, I don't want to get in trouble here because I am, Gila and I don't know if Gila's here, but Gila, I'm out on a limb here, and I'm trying. Debka's the Mossad, right? Right. So we have to try to figure out the difference between Mossad, the left wing Israelis, and the, I mean, gosh, Gila, I almost wish you were here now because this is really dangerous waters that I'm about to jump into. But I'm going to just go for it and try to figure this out because I don't know if anybody else is doing it, and I don't know where Gila is right now. So, be you. Okay, so if you feel like I'm going to try to stay out of trouble. You don't know Israeli politics. Well, the truth is that nobody can really tell what's going on in Israel at any given time. It's like Golda Meir said, something to the effect that, she was talking to another leader, and she says, well, you have, people who are this and that, but I have a country full of generals. I have a country full of, people that are like take charge of the world type people. Everything's so expensive in Israel. Yeah. I've never been there. I've never been to Israel. Let's start with that. Right. It's definitely not Fetterman. Okay. So that is also, I believe that is the case with BB as well. Let me use this as a beginning. That it seems to me that BB was taken out just like JB was taken out. Okay, so yeah, Evergrande is worthless. Yeah, and I think their time is up, right? I think, like, don't they have to like the 25th or 28th to give it up? But I think that Mr. BB is not the same guy. It's just like with Joseph, with BJ, JB, with JB, the big guy. That it's not. I think that the White Hats took out the real one a while ago and probably sent him up the Gitmo River because he almost made Italy a couple of years ago. Nice. Uh, yeah, I'm heading in that direction. I mean, I'm still waiting for my passport to come in so I can go to Mexico in a little while. But I believe that that's just a bridge. That's just a stopgap. That eventually, my plan is for the last 20 years has been to go to Eretz Yisrael, but I just haven't been able to pull it together. But I'm definitely heading in that direction. And I've heard it's lovely, and I've heard that it's so spiritual that I will probably not have a hard time leaving it, and maybe I'll stay. I don't know. I don't. That all is the future. But okay, so let's start with the idea, and this is kind of like a caveat that releases me from general responsibility to say that the guy in charge, BB, may not be the same guy that was in charge a couple of years ago. That the actual BB may be going on a fishing trip up the Gitmo River, which I hear is lovely and full of alligators, a lot of reptiles in the Gitmo River, probably a lot of reptilian inmates as well. So with that said, then you have to figure out that it's a white hat plant that's doing things to wake up the people. Now, from what I understand, the Israeli court system is run by a bunch of you know, left of center deep state operatives, let's say, okay, and that they direct, they possibly direct a lot of the left wing political forces in Israel and throughout the world. And that's why a lot of people associate Jews with lefties, even though if you if you knew any Torah Jews, you would find it quite different. Like Torah Jews do not lean left. I would say, if you could generalize, I would say, if anything, they lean more to the right side. Okay, so that's part of it. Now, the people who are protesting seem to be more of the left of center types, because they're protesting the idea that Bibi is trying to reform the political machine of so that the Supreme Court does not have the final word on everything. Here you have unelected officials putting the last word on a lot of different things, running the country, really, basically. So if let's say if that's really Bibi, which let's just assume it's not really Bibi, but why would the White Hats want Bibi to appear to be taking down the court system? Perhaps to wake up. I don't know. And okay, so I'm going to go off on multiple tangents here, because it seems also that the patriot community here, when I say here, I'm meaning like on the platforms that we examine, like Telegram and the like, tend to not understand the difference between a Jew and a Jew. They tend to want to paint us all with the sort of leftist brush. They want to paint us all as Illuminati, deep state, Khazarian, Zionists. This is the words they use, and this does not characterize at all the Torah following Jews, which are, from what I understand, at least 50% of the country in Israel are Torah loving Jews. So these are people of the book. These are people of the Old Testament. These are people of Torah. These are people who've been following this law for thousands of years. They do not support the deep state. They do not support the Illuminati. They do not support, if it's true the Mossad is a rogue operation, which it sounds like it is. They do not support this. They support the land, that the land was given to them by God, and they are waiting for Mashiach, for the Messiah to come and lead them in rebuilding the Holy Temple. Right. So there's this huge schism in Israel. And again, I've never been there. I'm just kind of putting the pieces together here from my point of view. There's a big difference between a lefty and a Torah Jew. They do not, they do not occupy the same space, the same mental thought patterns at all. A Torah Jew is, goes by God's law, is usually very different and God fearing, and I'm a part of that community, so I'm naturally, I'm naturally partial to that community, even though I grew up in a leftist Jewish environment, which my brother still has that kind of leaning. He works for DARPA, which is kind of a weird thing, right? He's a lefty, and my mother's still a lefty, even though she puts up with me pretty well. My sister is also with me. She's she's married to a prepper, and they're making bullets in their basements, and they got their house in the woods, and they're ready for the revolution. They got their food supply, and they make their own bullets and stuff, so they're pretty well stocked and ready. Why am I saying this? Because you can see that even within one family, you could have all extremes. Now, the Patriots, the the kind of like the mainstream patriots that I'm witnessing, seem to want to paint all Jews as being leftists and Illuminati affiliated, deep state types of things. And you'll notice that in all the big corporations like BlackRock and JP Morgan, they always put a Jewish seeming person out there to make it seem like, this is a Jewish organization, which I can guarantee you it is not. That if just because they put a Jewish figurehead out front does not mean it's at all, Jewish. And coming from a more, like, I grew up in a more bourgeois, let's say, environment. Even though we were on the poor end of the spectrum, we belonged to a yacht club that was formed because we were not allowed to go to the non-Jewish yacht clubs. We were not invited. We could not be members. So we formed our own club. And so I grew up with that mentality that we're not really welcomed by the other side unless we win the America's Cup, which one of our members actually did. He won the America's Cup, and then he was invited to be a member of the American Yacht Club, which I think he actually did join. That was not open to very many people, but so you know, okay, so what am I saying? What am I saying is really that Jews come in many different varieties and packages. You cannot paint the Jewish nation with one paintbrush. Just like you can't paint the Christian. You can't say all Christians are this or that. I mean, I don't think I'm not really that familiar with that. I didn't grow up in that environment, so I don't really know. But it seems to me you have Baptists and Catholics and Protestants and Methodists and what was the one? I had a school teacher. We have the Seventh-day Adventists, certainly, and there are many different kinds, but that's even within religious. But then if you talk about like non-Jews in general, I mean, there's all kinds of different varieties. But they want to paint and it's a very small section of humanity. We are not a big nation. We're a tiny fraction of the whole. I mean, I think there, maybe 8 to 10 million of us altogether. So, even though we're very small, people tend to focus on us a lot, and for various reasons. So anyway, why can't we all be humans? Right. Well, we can, but it's important. They are very intelligent, are exploiting. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure. Hammocks male. Is it hammocks male? I can't really see. I don't think that's. The Zionists are very intelligent. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. To say the Zionist, I mean that's a very disagreeable kind of way to paint. That's what some of the patriots, they want to say we're all Zionist and therefore we're Khazarians. That is just fake news. Period. And everybody wants to talk about the Rothschilds. The Roth kids, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I call them that to avoid the AI peeps on. But the Roth kids are not Jewish period. They worship the Satan. Okay, they, from what I understand, that is not called Judaism. That is not called Jewish. So, and they want to say that these are Zionist people, and that the Zionists are people who believe in Israel as the land of the Jewish people, and they're nationalists. They're more like nationalists, but they are not Khazarians. And that's been my big disagreement with the Patriot movement from the get-go. And that's the reason I believe that Gila and I are so important here, because nobody is standing up. Certainly the Jewish people are completely unaware, or else they are repulsed by the 17 movement, as they should be, because, and I don't think it comes from 17. I don't see this coming from the post from 17, but I do see it coming from a lot of the, not a lot, yeah, a lot of several of the major patriot, thought streams are heavily invested in this idea that all Jews are this Zionist entity and that Khazarian, and this is just an this is more fake than CNN. And it's a shamda. It's a shame that some people want to perpetrate that kind of a lie against a God-fearing and loving people. But that's the way it goes. So that's an important reason for Gila and I to be broadcasting, I believe, is to let people know that no, you cannot paint us with one brush. There's a tremendous variety amongst the Jewish nation, and yes, I was brought up amongst. I wouldn't even call them Zionists. I would say liberal. Yeah, were they Zionist? I mean, back when I was a boy, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, things are constantly changing. Now, okay, so now let's go and discuss. Let's discuss. Let's discuss the idea of the formation of Israel in light of what we recently found out. So, according to some sources, and I tend to believe this particular narrative, the the real the 13 bloodline families. Let's get down to, I don't like to focus on this because I know, I risk censorship from YouTube, but the let's call them the Phoenician families have a vested interest in both keeping the Jewish people, as the convenient group to blame, and at the same time wanting to eliminate as many of them as possible, as you saw during the very real situation that happened in around 1940, in the 1940s, the early 40s. Now, there are patriots who deny that happened. You could talk to my friend Gila. I mean, she has grandparents who went through it, and she sent a testimony from the Kloisenberger Rebbe to one of our friends who is a very popular Telegram personage, and we're hoping that he and some others will understand that the events that happened in World War II against the Jewish people were not. This is not a fictional creation. I mean, we all in the Jewish community, we have many connections to people who went through the experience. It's not a fantasy experience. So according to the sources that I'm understanding now, that the Balfour Declaration, and here I'm getting into an area of real trepidation. Is that the word? Real dangerous waters here. But I'm going to try to get through this. According to recent information and just me putting the pieces of the puzzle together, it seems like I said, the let's call them the dudes, have no great love for the Jewish people. They would just as soon, put us into whatever, ovens, whatever. They don't have any love for the Jewish people. Why? According to the recent narratives that are coming out, why was Israel formed? According to Patriot sources, it was formed, or according to me and Gila's putting things together, she believes that the Jews were put together in one place so they could be controlled. That's one way of looking at it. But whatever it is, the Jews were not put in this place because we have this benevolent, hidden hand of the Phoenician families that was really just wanting to return the Jews to the promised land. However, and this is very important, sometimes, and a lot of times, you see things, the evil ones do things with vicious intent, and the white hats are able to use that energy. Like I said, use the metaphor last night of a wrestler. If somebody comes at you with great force and you can move in a certain way, you can use their force against them. So even though it could very well possibly be that the Balfour Declaration, and that Israel was formed with malicious intent against the Jews. At the same time, this represents a returning to our homeland that was given to us by God in the Old Testament. And just to put some stories straight, I saw one of our family members sent me a video this morning of a so-called, Bible scholar who was saying that all of the Old Testament is about a hateful, jealous God, and that is not responsible, biblical studies from my point of view. I mean, that is not the case at all. Were the Jews set aside? Was this, that's something for the historians at a later time, when we put together the whole history. When we kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and we find out what really went down, we will put all this together. But I do not believe, and I hope I haven't stepped on too many toes so far. So what I'm saying is that even though Israel may have been formed with the malicious intent to keep Jews in one place so they could be later dealt with, it's quite possible that really this is part of God's plan. And God has told us in the Torah that this is the Holy Land, this is the Promised Land, and this is the land that the Jewish people were given by God. Okay, so that's just a kind of peripheral, I can't pronounce it, kind of assessment from my point of view, which, could be limited. I'm putting together pieces from Torah, pieces from the Patriot information, from what we know about the bad guys, from the Illuminati, from the reptilians, from the Dracos, from the Nebu, with and that's really what I believe my function is not to talk about what's going to happen on April 1st, but to try to find what I call confluence, where two rivers flow together, and in that center spot where they intersect, we try to glean some kind of information, some kind of intelligence, some kind of assumptions, some kind of indication of what's actually going on. Because again, our history has been completely erased, but we do have the Jewish people and the Christian people and the Muslim people have as the beginning of their written books, the Old Testament, Genesis. So there's an agreement there. Now, whether this was some kind of massive attempt to brainwash everybody done by the bad guys, that's for later. But right now, I mean, as a Torah Jew, I accept the Torah as being 100% authentic, and I do not find it to be hateful at all. I resent that kind of characterization, and I think it belittles the Jewish people and it belittles God to say that he was hateful. And you know, but anyway, we're in a period of great discovery and great turmoil, and I believe that the whole pie is about to be turned upside down. So we'll be able to see the underpinnings of everything. Israel's being torn apart. France, from what I understand, is being torn apart. There are other nations where the people are out on the streets. How much longer can the federal banking system pretend to be in control? I don't know. I don't think very much longer. And I think that the collapse of the world banking system has to happen under JB's watch. And how much longer can we put up with this nudnik? I don't know. I don't think very much longer people are going to start saying, his ears really don't look like the old JB, man. I mean, something's up with that. I mean, people are going to wake up eventually. So it has to go down. When you called about Pesach, um, um, okay, so yeah, somebody's messaging me. I don't know what that is. Let me just check this. Um, oh, what zip code? Okay, what zip code? 116. Okay. Oh no. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Now let's see if I can go back to Instagram. There we go. Okay, we're back on Instagram. All right. I'm sorry. I can't be fooling right. You're blessed to have a good relationship. Yeah. Okay. So how does it look in your opinion when it goes down? Can you pin a hypothetical continuing naked and knowledge? Thank you very much. Um, it's due to collapse. It looks like it's collapsing fast. I now know what's going on. I think that the white hats have a different kind of take on this. I don't really understand their I don't understand what they're really trying to do here. Excuse me. I'm sorry about this. Um, I'm getting to know the signs of all these things. Like last time, I blamed the microphone, and you guys said the sound is right. So I know that it's my hearing device that's the battery is going down right in the middle of a live. Right? You just never know what's gonna. Okay, so there we go. I don't know. In my opinion, what it goes down. Can you pin a hypothetical? I don't really know I don't know what's going to look like. Yes, I do know what's going to look like. I think it's going to look like a near death civilization event. I mean, that's what they've been telling us for months. It's going to look like the whole planet is imploding. We got ships, we got submarines, we got Chinese, Russian, North Korean, Taiwan. Everything's going down at once. Everything is, the egg. I don't want to use a metaphor. I don't want to steal a metaphor from my dear friend Shira, but it's the earth. The Rebbe said before Mashiach comes, the earth will be shaking in birth tremors, and that is going to happen relatively soon. As soon as I mean, it's really happening already. The world is breaking apart. The structure of the old way is dissolving before our eyes. The matrix is being destroyed. And that's a very good thing. I don't, and at the same time, this is an important thing that I get just from intuitive senses. When I was on the subway today, now I go on the subway, I am the only person with this color skin on the subway. I am not afraid. And I really believe that the Schumann resonance, that people have been shaken up since 2020, and that there's a basic goodness to humanity that will prevail in the end. I do not feel fear in these spaces. Other people say, you're on the subway. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm from Crown Heights, man. What do I get? I'm going to be afraid. It's just not, I don't think of it. I mean, Gila sometimes begs me. She says, "Please take a taxi," and I listen when Gila says, "Take a taxi." I do, but the point is that I think there's going to be tremendous breakdown on all levels of society. This is going to be the near-death civilization event. But at the same time, I believe in the human species. I believe in goodness. I believe in the Schulman resonance has been elevating souls. And since 2020, people have learned some very valuable lessons about, what's really important in life. And I think at the end of the day, yeah, you will know. Yeah, don't let dates go by, right? You will know. I mean, it's happening. What bothers me is even conservative media keeps saying climate change, climate change. Yeah, I mean climate change is just that's just I don't even take that seriously. But the Waking Dead, yeah, I don't see it as the Walking Dead. I don't see that. I mean, yes, it's true that they may not be as involved as some people would like, but I think that I don't see the kind of hostility out there that I used to see. I mean, there used to be, I remember in the 70s, for example, in the 70s, there was a real hostility between people, and it was really dangerous in New York City. I got mugged a few times in the 70s, but I don't see it anymore. I think there's going to be a dissolving of the matrix of the federal banking system, of all governments across the globe are going to break down, and transportation systems, medical systems, I mean, they've already broken down basically. That nothing is going to be the same. I mean, that's a given, but that's not even an unusual statement. But I think we're coming into the part of the movie, the denouement, is that the right word? The climax of the movie. You have like, the movie is like, the main character, he has one problem and then he kind of overcomes it. Then he has a bigger problem and he overcomes it. And then he has a huge problem and he overcomes that, and that mends, everything is good after that. And I think we're coming to that moment of complete dissolution of the matrix, of all structures in the world that are make believe. That you and I, if you're on this channel and you're like a starseed type, we were brought here to witness this collapse of structure. So this is a cause, I believe, for great celebration, and it's a cause. I bought an extra bag of popcorn just in case. I mean, I'm an optimist, and I really think that we're heading for. Once we get through this veil, once the last veil is removed, we're going to go into like times that you and I cannot, imagine how nice it's going to be. It's going to be, and that's what this channel is really about. And that's what I've been saying all along, is we're coming into the age of Mashiach. We're coming into the Great Awakening, and we're going to go through this last huge trial. This is what it's going to take to wake everybody up. And then we're coming into the promised land. And look at the timing. We're right before Passover, where we're leaving slavery. You're an observer and your own thoughts. You can observe your breathing, right? Yeah, you are your own master, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, I've been saying this also. It's a quantum world, and you can sit here and you can gnash your teeth about climate change or April 1st or whatever it is, whatever detail you want to get upset about, or you can just realize We're about to be born. We're about to be come into a world that's going to be fantastic, fantastic beyond our imagination in terms of comfort, in terms of serenity, in terms of using time productively, of living godly, a godly life. We're going to be building a dwelling place for God in this realm. That's where we're heading. At the end of the day, we're coming into the great awakening, and it's a cause for incredible celebration. Um, so we just have to go through these last little things, this little bit of turmoil, which I'm saying a little bit of turmoil. It's going to be colossal. Everybody watching this is going to think, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. That's what a near death civilization experience is. It's going to look like it's over. We're done. We're at war. People are rioting. Everything's collapsing. But in truth, I believe, based on what I've been seeing the last couple of years, that we are falling up. We are like losing control in a good way, and that at the end of the day, we're going to have like godly control. In other words, we will use godly laws. We will not. They say in Torah, we will not be able to do anything evil. We won't even understand what evil is. It won't make sense to us, and we will look back. We will look fondly back and say, "Man, I wish, I wish I, knew what I know now, because, back in the day, man, when there was real evil around, I could have worked on myself a little more." You're not going to have that once we get through the birth pangs. It's going to be, good and evil. It says that the tree of knowledge, good and evil got mixed together. And as we come into the era of Mashiach, of the Great Awakening, good and evil will separate. And you could see how that is. Like people who said, we're good, we're for unity, we're for one nation, we're doing horrific things to kids. So they were saying, we are the world, and meanwhile they're like destroying humanity. So you cannot do that when good and evil are separate. You can do that when they're mixed together. But those days are I think, almost completely over. And we can really discern what's really good and what's not, which is a big difference. So I don't know. I think it's, at the end of the day, I mean, there's going to be some weird stuff going down, and it's going to look like the world is coming to an end, but the world is coming to a beginning. I mean, that's what we've learned. I mean, the whole 17 movement has kept us from a civil war. We would have all of the patriots would have been out there with pickaxes, right? I mean, that's what they expected on January, right? They expected that, oh, those MAGA clowns are going to go crazy, and we didn't, because we had 17, and we understood there was a bigger plan behind the scenes. So we're coming into it's biblical, man. This is beyond biblical, and it's happening right at Passover. All this is happening, and it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. And it's also the end of the era of the reptilians, right? Yeah, should I launch into it? I mean, I think this is like the only conclusion at the end of the day is just to sing a song and basically let your intellect go. Just say, you know what, man? I don't really have to figure it out. I don't have to. All I have to do is kind of enjoy the ride. And it's going to be amazing. It's really going to be an amazing ride. What's this? This is my that. Uh, it's the Great Awakening. I mean, that's the only conclusion I think can really. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, I know. I have a drawer, especially for guitar things. But I had my short cord. What happened to my short cord here? Is it here? No, I don't see it. Somewhere around here. Did I put it in this drawer? Might have. See, everything was, I have to fight against my own organizational systems constantly because I'm constantly outsmarting myself with, I'm so smart that I can't function, right? Okay, here we go. I got a backup cord, and I have batteries and rechargers. I mean, this is constant struggle against entropy or with entropy. I don't know. You know the term entropy, right? Feel your energy and see your light, especially animals. Yeah. Actually, we're already there. I really think we're already there. It's just some of us are more aware of it than others. People, yeah, people feel your energy. Let's see if I can pull this off. Okay. Is it working? I never know if this thing is working or not. Sounds like the battery's dead. You hear a little bit, right? Yeah, I'm not really hearing it. Okay. So, c'est la vie. What can you do, right? Just go on. Does that make it better? It's just going to drive me crazy if I don't. The Walking Dead. Yeah. So let me just change. Oh, it wasn't in. That's why. Okay. Still not working. All right. Let me just see if I can change the battery. Oh, we're down to like 300 people. Okay, so no one's really listening anyway. Nobody really cares. Yeah, I think it's all good, man. I think we're heading for good times. Very good times. Times that are way beyond anything we can really imagine. Down to 3 batteries. Let's just see if this works. Yeah, that works. Okay. It was the battery. Snakes in the garden messed with our Mother Eve. We crossed the splitting sea, but we were never free. This is the great awakening. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Twin towers, stacks of gold, all the lives that they stole. The little ones disappeared, we ran to work in fear. This is the Great Awakening. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Welcome to the Great Awakening. All along the countryside, people sat and cried. How much longer can it be? The Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. I went down to the ocean, have myself a look around. I never thought I'd find that kind of peace of mind. Welcome to the Great Awakening. So, seems like it's going down. We're coming into the promised land. That's the bottom line. That's what I like when I have to turn down the volume, man. That shows me I got some juice. Let's bemoan the fate of the EBS Blues, since it's Sunday night and all that good stuff. Let's see if I can find this. Okay, there we go. Put this in the right way. I think it's going to be amazing. Now, I honestly, I hope the Patriots are, I hope they're not closed-minded. I hope they're open-minded, and they're going to be good to the people of God. All people are of God, and one godly group should be good to another godly group. So hopefully they'll realize that a lot of this programming is nonsense. Kitchen shelves are fully stocked. I got bottled water under my cot. Oh Lord, I got the EBS blues. Dr. Fauci got that ouchie. Jelaine and Jeffrey were no slouchies. Oh Lord, I got the EBS blues. Waiting for the 10 days of darkness. We've been waiting for the first arrest. Oh Lord, why is that general wearing a dress? Day after day, night after night, not a single black swan in sight. Oh Lord, I got the EBS blues. Yeah, man. So if we're looking at dates, you could get disappointed, but okay, we're coming into this like near death experience. It doesn't seem like it's going to be announced. It's just going to happen. It's going to be a formless, aimless, chaotic mess of in every single direction, and people are going to completely freaked. And we're coming into Passover, and this is the time when the right before Passover. Remember, there's a civil war between the firstborn and the regular Egyptians, meaning that evil is fighting itself. And we will be freed. We will take our little matzah. Remember our matzah that's flat because we don't want to have a big ego. If you have an ego, things are going to look pretty scary because you're going to be concerned about self. And self may not come out on the other side the way you think it's gonna. Yeah, we are falling up. I think we are falling up. Amy Trailer. I think I'm pronouncing your name right. I think we are falling up, and we're falling into God's hands. We're falling into the love space. We're falling into the new age, the age of Mashiach. And on the other end, man, we won't have to argue about who it is. It'll be pretty clear. So, and it could very well be that we all see different things in Mashiach, and that's okay. In other words, there may be one Mashiach, and everybody sees him differently. It is a quantum age, and we're coming into the age of, where everything's going to be quantum. So it's really depends on what you think. Your thoughts will manifest, and it's going to get faster and faster. The manifestation process. All right. Well, anyway, my camera's putzing out on me. It got heated up. I think this could be an issue in the summer, but anyway, so I'm gonna butt out. I probably said too much anyway. I hope I didn't offend anyone, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's not really so early, but it's really more like dinner time for me. But God bless, man. Just know that nothing to be afraid of. We're coming into a really good time period ahead, and it's going to seem crazy, but that's just part of the show. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and God bless. Be good to yourselves.